Stick around afterwards for applause. We've got your timer running over there.
Thank you very much.
And boom, you got this.
I need a clicker.
Oh, clicker. And 2 hands.
I need extra hands. So.
Right. Do you want to give me like a wink when you want it to click? And I can do that for you.
Dude, that's so dodgy.
Yes.
How about I just wave?
Okay. You could wave. I got you covered.
There's no winking or whistling.
Thanks, everyone.
Can everyone hear me? I don't usually do the microphone thing.
You hold it up like
Little
directional, so it's like almost like
feels like karaoke. It's terrible. So I'm a little bit nervous, which is why I have notes. Please bear with me. I'll scatter these as I go. Carla, do you want to go to the next slide? Oh, sorry. Not a nod. Does it work?
Oh, sorry, I have to switch it on.
And again.
And again.
Yeah, we don't want to look at... No, that's better. Thank you. Hey, everyone. Thank you for having me tonight. So I think Colette did a pretty good introduction, actually. I'm VP of Product at Ask Nicely. It's a software as a service company. But I'm also the founder of Women in Tech Auckland. I am a soapbox feminist, a really annoying one usually, and I am also pretty severely introverted, which will probably come up a little later. This is not burlesque. Next. Yes, there was a wave for you, Colette. Wow. So for anyone who works in tech already, you may be aware that it can be a dumpster fire. And when I was going through my talk with a friend, she was like, oh, well, give us some examples. And I was a bit like, you know what, I don't really want to. This stuff is unpleasant. I don't want to bring it up. But a few things that we've noticed is everything from microaggressions, from this insistence on referring to groups of people as guys, regardless of the fact that there are some people in there who are clearly not guys. It is things like I've been at conferences and had male attendees expect that I was the tea person and hand me stuff. There is the way women get asked to take notes in meetings all the time and do other forms of low-value labor rather than the guys getting to do it. I had a wonderful experience once where I was brought in to lead a team and one of the team promptly resigned, saying he would not report to a woman. The organization was fantastic. They thanked him for his resignation and gave him a box, and that was the end of that, which was fantastic, but it could have gone really badly. And it was a really uncomfortable moment for me. So tech can be openly hostile to not only women, but also other minorities, and we need to do better. The good news is I've been working for 19 years now, and there have been great leaps made forward already. But we need to keep moving. There's still a huge amount that we need to do. Is that flamboyant enough? Yeah, that's great. Thank you. It's nice seeing my slides on a big screen. In 2014, I went to an unconference called Gather. I'm not sure if any of you have attended Gather. It's really, really, really good. And at that conference, there was a brainstorming session around women in tech and the things that we could do as women to improve the situation. So we had this really great talk. There was a need raised for a more informal way where women could network in the same way that men do a lot of the time. You know, jobs get handed out to people in your network. Women tend not to have those kind of networks, or at least they didn't at this time. There was already an event in Auckland called Refactor, which is phenomenal. If you haven't been to one, please do go. And it's a great event where they get women speakers and you get to hear experiences a little bit like this. But what the women were wanting was more of an informal place where they could gather and chat and network. So after the talk, everyone kind of shuffled off to the next session, and I was left standing there with a lady called Shirley. And we were like, well, now what? Neither of us knew how to organize events necessarily. Both of us are introverts. But we kind of figured that if no one else was going to do it, we should probably pick it up. So we made a thing. It is called the Women in Tech Meetup. It's been running since 2014. We gather every second month, and we found that actually wasn't enough to keep women connecting, so we launched a Slack group as well. For anyone who says we have a pipeline problem and that there are not enough women in tech, we have over 1,000 female members in our meetup in Auckland. So we are here. The meetup is not just for women. It's open to supportive male allies. People are most welcome to come along. We make sure that we are never outnumbered because we know how that feels at other tech conferences. The meetup's open to allies. The Slack group is not. The Slack group is closed to anyone who identifies as a woman. One thing that's worth noting is it's hard. It's really hard. I mean, Paulie and her team have done such a magnificent job with this. It's tough to get venues. It's tough to get sponsors. It's tough to have to keep asking for things, but it's really worthwhile. There's something quite special about going to something and seeing that you're not alone. And every time I leave a meetup, I leave with a renewed sense of optimism that we can actually do this and that we are doing this. So I want to talk about something else, because the meetup's great, right? But when Paulie called me, my first response was, what? Why? Like, why would you want to hear from me? And then I sat down and I thought, gosh, that's terrible. Like a lot of other women here, I suffer from imposter syndrome. If you don't know what that is, I have a nice little definition that I'll read. It is the false, sometimes crippling belief that your success is due to luck or fraud, not skill, and it's often accompanied by an inability to internalize accomplishments. So I thought I would share 5 quick things that I find help me with this. Your mileage may vary, and I'm likely to offend at least one person in the room. I'm going to speed through these. The first thing is have an advisory board for your life, the same way businesses do. I surround myself with lots of women, as you can see, but also men who give me great advice and help me to separate feelings from fact when I am feeling like I'm not that accomplished, and then trust them. Develop yourself the way we develop software. We don't release stuff and just expect it to work first time. Build, test, fail, and repeat. Doing this talk tonight, I hate public speaking, but the more you do it, the more tolerance you build, the more of a resistance you build, and you get a lot better at this. Okay, I'm going to say it. Fuck the fraud police. We like to call these brain weasels. It's the little voice of doubt in your head that's telling you can't do something. It's a little like the boggarts in Harry Potter. Dress it up, give it a silly name, and tell it to fuck off. I'd like to see us giving ourselves the love that we give to our friends and our family and that kind of support, rather than breaking ourselves down. Keep a win list and start this early. If anyone says anything encouraging about you, save it. You can visit these wins, testimonials, feedback whenever you're feeling like a fraud and remind yourself that you actually aren't and you're appreciated. We're surrounded by them and they succeed. I don't get it. But borrow their swagger and then walk the walk until you feel it. Thank you. And looks like I'm right on time.